G'day, mate, and welcome to RealityNSFW coverage of Australian Survivor 2022 Blood versus Water. I'm Jonny Fairplay. That's Alex Trias, but we have the guest of honor, the man with the plan. This guy, he's not a gardener, he's a killer. Welcome, the champion and sole survivor of Blood versus Water. Mark, how are you today?
I am going well. Thanks so much for having me. You guys are obviously icons, and I've been waiting to chat, so I'm excited to get down to it.
All right. There was some low-hanging fruit here, Mark, and I'm very disappointed in you. I felt that you played a flawless game. However, when it comes to Mark versus the Joker, low-hanging fruit here, the Mark Knight. Why?
That is a good one. I could have gone the Mark Knight. I was told I should have gone the General. I think, is that an Australian Survivor thing? The fact that we're all trying to get monikers for names all the time. And yeah, Geordie was gunning for the Joker. He got it. So I give him full credit.
Oh, did he mention it during his confessionals?
No,
I didn't hear it.
I don't know if you guys know either. I was in the military. I just wanted to
Did you play every challenge with military precision?
every one, military precision, every time.
Wow. So first things, what did you think of the edit? I mean, because I'm watching, not a huge fan of you coming into this one. I did watch your first season. I commented on it. Love Sam a lot. Didn't get the attraction.
I had to work hard to win you over, didn't I?
You did, and you did. That's the thing. I mean, I've told Sam, and we've corresponded, via text. The finale, I literally, this is no exaggeration, cried for 35 minutes straight and did not stop crying.
That's awesome.
That wasn't for KJ.
Even I was crying for KJ out there.
So
yeah, it was crazy, right?
What do you think? What do you think of your edit this go round? Because I felt it was a slow build, and I think it was a beautiful story.
Yeah, I feel like it was a slow build. They came out strong. They gave me a very strong early edit, which I think was maybe a mistake because it kind of highlighted me as a potential winner. And then there was just crickets for a really long time. And it wasn't until the very end, and really after Sam had left, that they started to build me up as a player a lot more and let me talk about strategy and what I've been doing. So I felt like it was a slow burn, but yeah, we got there in the end.
But do you think that sort of goes hand in hand with how you decided to play this season? How you wanted to play may come across as I wanted to be the person on the back burner. No one realizes that I'm pushing through until it's too late.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was, and you're right. There's not that much time in Survivor. I feel like once you get to, I don't know, 8 or 9 people left, you're starting to run out of space and time to make big moves and rally alliances, and people starting to splinter off in their own direction. So I knew I had to survive to the merge and then a little bit further, and it was going to be too late to get me. And, I snuck through.
Were you aware that Sam stitched up Jesse? Because
I was not aware until we got to tribal council. And then I was very aware. And, and I was also very proud of Sam for being so vicious.
Do you consider that the most ruthless move in the history of Survivor?
I reckon it's right up there. I reckon it's pretty ruthless.
I think so.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a really good one. I'm very proud.
I'm beyond proud, and for the record, I think Sam is beautiful and could not be any cuter. And you are one of the luckiest men on the planet. And and I saw the backlash, and I just wanted to say fuck you to all. If a guy does that same move, it's just hero status. Let's make a statue. And I'm like, because Sam doesn't have a penis? Stop it. And
Yeah,
then the comments weren't about the move. They're just like, let's just attack because once again, Sam doesn't have a penis. So let's go after looks because that affects women more than anything.
Yeah, she definitely copped heat for it. But I said, you've got to remember, this is... I remember how you felt when we finished the game. We all knew it was a great move. Everyone loved it. Even Jesse and Geordie, who appreciated the move, they're fans. Jesse was really good about it. And it's going to be remembered for a very long time. So I'm proud of her.
Yeah, I have her right there with the dead grandma lie. I love it. I respect it and I worship it. I mean, I just so Sam might not have a penis, but she's got some pretty big balls.
Much bigger than me. That's for sure.
So you came in a little heavier than the last time we saw you. Was this you had given up on life prior to because Sam does mention that you guys brought in a nutritionist, and I'm just like, did Mark eat him or what?
I took on a small person. It's funny. We'd been in lockdown for a long time. I'd gained weight. I was about 25 pounds heavier than the first time I played. And when we went on, I was like, actually, this works because I couldn't get a haircut. Everything was closed in Australia. And I went on thinking, you know what? I don't look like some precision military dude anymore. I look like a dad. And that kind of suits what I'm going for. And, I needed that extra weight during the game. And I didn't realize how much weight I was going to lose. By the end, I'd really stripped right back. And it took 6 weeks of not eating, but I was finally a normal-sized human after 6 weeks of not eating.
Yeah. Like, I'm watching the premiere, and I was just like, who's this fat guy wearing a Mark skin suit?
All my army friends were saying that. They're like, what the hell have you done to yourself?
So it was just the COVID weight. That wasn't an intentional thing to put on that extra weight, or it just...
Not really. I've gotten bigger because we did a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of strength work going into it. So I was a combination of bit fat, bit more muscle, and off we went.
It worked. I mean, it like I'm sitting there watching. I'm just like, this could fucking work out. And guess what?
It's funny because the 2 times I played, I watched people start who were super ripped, and I was really fit first time I played. I was really fit. And
you got Sam. I mean, you didn't get Sam because you looked like you did going into
exactly. But maybe 2-3 weeks in, those super ripped people, they're cactus. They can't make clear decisions anymore because they just got no energy.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, military precision with the weight gain. I love it.
That's what I say.
So I did pass on a message for you. I was in DC last Wednesday night at Bryson Wendell's party, and I did run into the Queen, and I passed on a hug from the soldier, and she goes, "Are you talking about Mark?" Yes. She goes, "How did you talk to Mark?" I was like, "Well, there's this thing called the internet. It's kind of complicated."
It's amazing.
She was very happy to receive a hug from the soldier.
She's the best, and what an icon of the game. And she was such a great ambassador for our season. She really shouted it from the rooftops, and it was so great to have her out there. She's a great person.
So, well, speaking of Sandra Diaz-Twine, I might as well share this with you guys right now. If you would like to meet the Queen and me, come to Durham, North Carolina, April 27th. We're going to be at the Dirty Bull Brewery, and it's myself, the Queen, Sandra Diaz-Twine, Zane Knight, everyone's favorite first boot, Jane Bright, and Dana Lambert. We're all going to be at Dirty Bull watching Survivor Season 42. And get your tickets right now at SurvivorTix.com. That's SurvivorTix.com. Very rare appearance for Sandra and me together because she typically hates me. But tonight, but that night, she will not. So, and if you can't wait 2 weeks, not a problem. Come see me in Nashville. That's right, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to be there I'm not coming alone. I wouldn't. I'm going to the Doghouse Saloon, one of the biggest indoor screens in all of the United States. And I'll be joined by Whitney Duncan and her husband, Keith, who she met on Survivor South Pacific. Mark, you know how these love stories work.
I know. I'm a specialist.
Taj George will be there. That's right. Taj from Survivor Token Chins. And she just happens to be a Grammy winner from SWV. Taj George will be there. And Figgy from Millennials versus Gen X. It's going to be awesome. Once again, tickets available at survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. Whew. So excited. All right.
That's awesome.
So with that, all right. How real did this rivalry with you and Jordy escalate? Because there seemed like moments where we see in camp life the fun, jovial Mark who's kind of done a 180 gameplay wise, and you're the listener, you're the sharer. You know, I likened your game to Coach. I felt what Coach did in 3 seasons, you did in 2, but you won. So I think you did it better. And I love Coach.
Sort of like it's almost like if you own your shit at the end, you'll get the win.
Yeah, it's so weird. But we're seeing the camp life stuff, but then the confessionals, you're just like, you know, this guy's a professional gardener. I'm a professional killer. Was there animosity?
I was getting frustrated because everyone was worried about Geordie in the challenges, but I knew he was so loose with information. I could just watch him cause a little shitstorm around camp.
Yeah,
and he wasn't really getting anywhere. He wasn't making traction strategically, so I wasn't so worried about him. But we were definitely trying to get rid of him. And my point there was like, you think he's difficult to deal with. Soon you're going to be dealing with me, and I'm a hell of a lot more trouble than he is.
So, and we do get, as Bob says, if it bleeds, you can kill it.
little shout out to all the 80s children out there.
So I thought in the history of Survivor, just an amazing rivalry, and we had Sam on a couple weeks ago, and we had Chrissy last week, and to learn that, you know, Sam stitched up Jesse, which was more than confirmed. That night, the 3 of you have a conversation, you, Jordy, and Sam. And it's just like, hey, let's work together. Yes, I took his idol, but you know, it all happened just super quick. Let's work together. And then the next morning, Jordy explains to the entire tribe, Jesse went home with his idol in his pocket. And then the next night sleeps on it, and then it's like, fuck that. And it's like, yeah, Sam stitched up my brother. And everyone's like, yeah, because you already told us that he left with it. Why did they not show that?
I don't know, because it would have made it so funny. Although it would have been hard to explain, I guess, from a gameplay perspective too. But yeah, Sam was selling him this plan. You know, hey, don't worry about the stolen idol. Let's work together.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there in the dark. I'm watching Sam going, this is not going to fly. If I was Geordie, I'd be sitting there going, oh, okay, cool. And then I'd go and tell everyone to go and vote us out. Yeah, immediately. He didn't. He kind of went along with it for a bit, and when he tried to reverse course, it made it so much harder for him. So Sam and I were just lucky. He made a couple of missteps, and then he was the boy crying wolf. No one believed him.
Yeah, tell him Porky Pies. So and that's my soon-to-be 5-year-old in the other room right now. She like, I'm just like, are you telling the truth? And she goes, yes. I'm like, you're not telling Porky Pies. And she thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. Now, I think I've created a liar with this Porky Pies thing that I've stolen from your culture.
I think it's British. The Cockney slang. I think it's Cockney slang. But we'll claim it.
Okay. So, but yeah, that has to be Geordie's biggest misstep in the game. Like, bar none.
Yeah, I think if he'd been able to rally people against Sam and I earlier, you wouldn't have seen me at the end for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting because I think it also just goes to commend like both you and Sam for the step up that you guys took this second time around. Like you guys go in, you play in the 2017 season, like and I would say like you guys didn't play bad games. It was just like you sort of got the shit end of the stick, get sent out, but you guys were sent out because people saw you as dangerous players in the long term. This season, you guys come in, are able to get yourselves to the merge, and as a duo, I just think you guys pair each other very well, which makes it, I think, that much harder for people to really gauge, like, oh, they're just they're giving me a bunch of bullshit right now. I need to just stop that right now. But they feel like still invested with you.
Yeah, we had complementary styles of play, but we were apart for a long time, and that was partially because in the tribe swap we managed to stay apart, and I chose to do that. And the thinking was
good husband move there, Mark.
Yeah, good strategic move, bad husband move.
Yes, it was right. It was the right move. I'm sitting there watching. I'm just like, that's the right move. Oh, he should not have done that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh, this is a good move. And then I saw Sam. I went, oops, see, I'm going to be dealing with that later.
Yeah. When we're counting money, we'll discuss whether that was good or not.
I was terrified. Someone was going to get kicked out before the merge and we wouldn't have played the game together. But, it worked out. We came together. We both had really good alliances. We disagreed over which way to go. And that's kind of a normal approach for us. We figure out the best way ahead, sometimes with an argument. But everyone else was watching this going, these two aren't working. They're not on the same page at all. Like, what are they doing? And so it kind of worked out. It lowered us as a threat.
It did. I mean, because that by definition is not a power couple because you're not working together perception-wise.
Yep.
So, and the exact opposite of your 2017 game.
Exact opposite. Yeah. And I would even say to people when Sam wasn't around, I'd be like, Sam needs to be careful of this or she needs to be careful of that. So it just looked like I was trying to make it look like we weren't a united front, even behind, behind closed doors. So I think that works well.
Man, military precision at its best. Okay, so let's talk about your so the tribe swap deal, huge fuck up, as husband wise. That's okay. You'll outdo that. Even bigger fuck up. Let's not tell our wife that we have a hidden immunity idol because I'm sitting there right before the merge. You're like, I'm about to join up with my wife, and I have a ring. To show my and I'm just like, oh my God, Mark's gonna get down on one knee and propose with this idol, and it's gonna be the most romantic thing ever. And I'm just like, man, this guy's come full circle. I love this guy. Nope.
No proposal.
No.
Instead, Jordy just comes along and goes, yeah, why don't you just use Mark's idol? And he's like, what idol? And I was like, what idol?
Yes.
Yeah, I got in a bit of trouble for that one too. So,
what's going through your head? You are aware that you were married going into this, right?
We were in such a good position. I'm like, you know what? It's hectic. You know what it's like in a merge. There's a lot of people, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sit on this a bit longer. And then I was going to tell her at night, and I didn't tell her. And then the next day, Geordie let the cat out of the bag, and I was like, holy shit, I'm in trouble. And Sam confronted me. I was like, yeah, I got the idol. Like, you should be proud that I got an idol. So,
no!
I'm a terrible person. That was a mistake.
Oh my God. I'm just like this guy, did they get a divorce right before they got there? And that's the big reveal is hey, in case you were wondering before, and we've shown that there's no need for worry. Just to seal the deal, yeah, we're divorced. And she hates me. Her lawyer has been sending me stuff before we got here.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a funny one. But actually the thing that was interesting is I had said to Geordie, I was like, I got the idol. I told him the other camp, do not tell anyone. Yeah. And when we got to the next camp, I was serious when I said, don't tell anyone. I didn't even tell Sam. And Josh and Jordan found this out, and they were like, this guy's crazy. He didn't even tell his wife about the idol. We need to, he means what he says. When he says don't tell anyone,
yes!
He's serious. And so it kind of reflected back on Geordie a bit because I think it was the second time he'd outed someone's idol accidentally. And they didn't show it the first time. He came back to camp when Shea had an idol and just said, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't play your idol tonight." And everyone was like, "Oh, what idol?" So yeah, he's a bit loose, and yeah, that was another one.
Wow, it's despite the friction. I mean, it's a large majority of the season is Batman versus the Joker. Was there a friendship out there, or was it let's get through this game? I mean, because we see the camaraderie between all of you after the game is it makes every American so we've had very few seasons in which the game is over and it's just like, look, we had the adventure of a lifetime. We're lucky to have done this with one another. Let's be friends. Like 9 times out of 10 is like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Whereas with you guys, it's just like so was that friendship or was it just like, nope, this is my enemy, and and we'll maybe we'll be friends after this, maybe we won't, we'll see.
There was this really funny standoff where Geordie would sometimes come over to me when we'd be alone, and he'd be like, I've got a plan, I've got an idea to play your idol that won't have it, and I'd just be like, dude, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. He would just look at me and go, you're an asshole. We'd be laughing together about this. And I'd be keeping the facade up, just going, I don't know what you're talking about. So we had it was like we were frenemies. We were frenemies for sure.
Frenemies works. Frenemy. I mean, like me and Sandra, I'm giving hugs from the soldiers. She goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So, and once again, come see Sandra, 427 in Durham, North Carolina. SurvivorTix.com. So, all right. So let's go back to the very beginning. You get there. Everyone's there, and then there's a helicopter, and Oprah shows up. But it's not Oprah. It's Sandra Diaz-Twine with her daughter Nina. Were you guys shitting yourselves like, holy moly, like this is the real deal, or were you just like, all right, first boot, we're good?
We all knew we were in the presence of greatness, and I think everyone wanted to learn from Sandra. You don't play that many seasons and not have a lot of and win twice and not have something very good to say about the game. So everyone
you can play that many times and not win and be Russell Hanson all for nothing.
That is true.
So, I mean, let's not.
Hey, he offered a hat.
He did offer a hat.
He's the first guy I asked about when I spoke to Sandra, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's a real villain." Like,
yeah.
So I was excited to have her there. Sandra is definitely the Queen 2.0. She's been mentored by the best. She's patient. She's not the archetype that I think internationally we give to Americans, brash, impatient. She was very calm, very measured, really good interpersonal skills. She was fantastic, and I was dreading having to go up against her eventually, which I knew I'd have to do.
Yeah, so you have Sandra out there. You guys are pumping for information. It seemed as though, like, watching the show, that Sandra was doing a lot more listening than talking. But from the edit, it looked like she was spending a lot of time by herself. Did you see this to be the case?
No, she did, but she was just trying to keep a low profile. I got to Blood 2.0 and saw her there, and I'm like, I can see what she's doing. She's trying to stay kind of under the radar, and she's not getting too involved in strategy, but she also knew what was happening too. She's smart enough to be watching and figure out what's going on. But she also knew that her days were numbered. She was there for her daughter, so I think she was okay being in the firing line. She was used to it, and she still fought her ass off. Once she knew she was in trouble, she did an amazing final trial.
Yeah. Whereas Nina, we see, once again, just based on these moments, I saw like much more integrated and and proactive versus Sandra's reactive game.
Yeah, proactive, but still really subtle. Like you couldn't really. She looked far more social than she did strategic, and I think that's a good place to be when you're early in the game.
Well, the Andy boot, like, you get credit on your resume for the Andy boot, and Nina's not there to say,
Like, wait 1 second.
That's it. I made sure she wasn't around to spread the real truth that it was
Yeah,
mostly
so,
her.
I mean, but watching that, like, that's one of the greatest first episodes for
Yeah.
a first time player in the history of the game. I mean, like,
Yeah.
she's a first time player, but coming in with a wealth of knowledge that no other first time player I think has ever had in the history of the game. And we're seeing her do Jedi mind tricks to a soldier, even though I do feel that it was more unanimous versus, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Yep. Yep. And I was like, you know what, give it, like, I'm more than happy for that to be her kill. And I think Andy was an important one for me because I wanted to, he's actually quite a big guy. He's like 6'3", big.
Yeah.
Good at challenger. He's a big guy. And I wanted to make sure I was the indispensable physical asset to the team in the early challenges. So that was kind of my rationale behind targeting Andy. He didn't really do anything wrong, to be fair.
And there was no chance of you guys working because, we're doing the cast assessment, prior to the season. I'm just like, I can't imagine the people that have played before not working together just because that wealth of knowledge that they have versus others. And I lumped in Khan with you guys because I'm just like, Khan doing MasterChef. It's a similar process. You learn, it's not Survivor, but you learn with production what you can get away with and what you can't. And that's a huge advantage.
It is. It's a bigger advantage than even I realized because I hadn't played for long first time I played, but just the exposure to the game, to the elements, to the mistakes you can make early on and just watching other people, that stuff is really invaluable because you can make unforced errors in Survivor and it can finish your game totally. So if you know what those are and you can avoid those as a second-time player and build the right foundation to your game, because what gets built after that, you're not necessarily going to know just because you're going to be playing a field that's in front of you or a situation that's in front of you. But I had the chance to build a foundation to my game in the early days when you're not under threat that paid huge dividends later.
So, but working with Andy was just never in the cards for you?
I don't think so, because if we were working too closely, that would present a pretty scary alliance to the other new first time players. So I was more keen to look like I was in with them, and I would say to them, "Look, last time I played for 5 minutes. I went to 2 tribal councils, got kicked out of my third, didn't see a tribe swap, and I just played it down." And I shared as much information as I could about the early stages of the game and what I learned, and I think that took the threat level away. And so Andy, if I'd paired up with him, that would have been quite threatening.
And it had nothing to do with the visor. Like you're just like, I can't have someone with a visor on my tribe.
That was probably a leading factor was removing the visor from play because it's a signature hat.
I do have a caddy visor. Here's my Birds of Condor sent me the visor.
Awesome.
So I keep the note along with my. This is I don't know if you're familiar with this, Mark. This is a lava buff. Lava. It's a combination of blood and water because it flows like water, but also blood does. Okay.
Looks like blood, flows like water.
Yes. You named the tribe.
I remember when we were coming up with the name, and production were like, "Okay, everyone, you're going to come up with your name, and you're going to look interested and excited." And we're just going, "Okay, lava sounds good, right, everyone?" We were so tired. We couldn't make it fun. And we kind of like the name, but it's,
yeah.
It's probably
I'm surprised you guys didn't just go with purple.
Oh yeah, because you
you were blood and water, but every time we saw it was like red team and blue team.
I still don't get it. I'm like, it's such a cool name.
Yeah, like what is Jonathan's hatred of blood, water, and lava? I mean, I've never in the like Jeff says these ridiculous names that I can never, we're covering season 42. Tonight there's a 2-hour episode and there's the stupid hourglass bullshit, and we're gonna be sitting there saying the name of this shitty tribe that I can't remember, and because I have to have them in the notes because I don't fucking know. So, but no, blood's easy, water's easy.
Nope.
Lava's great.
Too hard.
No, Red Tribe wins again. I'm like, motherfucker.
I was hating it. I was like, come on, give us blood. Come on.
Yes. I mean, like, yeah, not only is it easy to remember, they're fucking badass names.
Yeah, there will be blood. Okay, like, come on. There's so many good, like, spin-offs you can use with this tribe name.
Yeah, and he has so much fun. Uh-oh, is that a Harry sighting?
We got a little visitor. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Say a quick hello. Who's that? Hey, who's that? Harry? You gonna say hello?
Hi, Harry.
Hello.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey,
I'm
Harry.
Jonny Fairplay. I'm a bad guy like your dad.
And I'm just a random person.
He's made an appearance in pretty much every podcast I've done because Sam is away at the moment.
Why did you name your son after Dirty Harry?
He that's pretty cool. That'll be his name when he goes back on Survivor in about 15 years.
Love it.
But we had Harry from from a couple of seasons ago, and he was Dirty Harry, which I loved.
Yes, I love Dirty Harry so much. So, all right, perfect time for a quick break, and we're gonna be right back. And we got some more questions for Mark. Winner, Sole Survivor, Blood versus Water. We're in the presence of greatness.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed.
0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. That's only 140 calories per serving.
It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and my favorite, maple waffle. Now, Magic Spoon recently brought back their 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Thank goodness. But they're back permanently. And when these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Now, I'm here to let you know you can get them again or try them for the first time. Why? Because they're delicious and indulgent.
Jonny, Magic Spoon has so many great flavors that I really enjoy, and even my kids enjoy them. We have the cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter. All these are really great combinations. They enjoy waking up in the morning and getting some Magic Spoon right off to start their day great before they head off to school. I think everybody listening should give Magic Spoon a try, or if you've tried them already, it's time to reorder. Let's get you some more Magic Spoon and get your day started right.
Hey, when I finish a podcast late at night, the first thing I'm thinking is not sleep. It's let me grab a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon before I go to bed.
So go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this podcast.
Thank you, Magic Spoon. Thank you, Blue Chew. And thank you, Lucy. And thank you, Mark. Now, going back before the game started, we talked with Sam, and Sam said that you guys were watching seasons of U.S. Survivor to kind of prep yourselves. Who were your influences watching U.S. Survivor?
The biggest, I'm trying to remember what seasons I watched. I watched Heroes vs. Villains. That was really good. Probably well, I'll talk about the characters I liked most. I actually really like Coach because he was.
You are Coach.
How ironic.
I would have loved having him in my tribe. So I'll be like, tell me another story.
Yeah, the pygmy story is insane. Like I had Coach on, and I was like, he goes, I can't tell this story. I'm like, do it. And he told the story.
So I don't think I've heard the pygmy story, but I'm now going to have to look this up.
I'll give you the abbreviated version. He decided to go by himself and kayak the Amazon River.
Yeah.
And he was captured by pygmies. And they tied him up, and they would put things in him, and like it was a horrific ordeal. And every day he would loosen up his bindings, and then like finally, like on the 3rd day, he just made a run for it, and arrows were coming at him, and
I don't. Oh my god! Well, the first thing when you said that, I just heard the Indiana Jones music. That's all I could hear.
Yes, that's
Essentially.
and so many people are like, Coach lies, and I'm just like, who makes up that? No one makes up that story.
It is very hard to verify that story, but if you had a poison dart in your arm, maybe you could verify it.
Yeah. So, but no, like he was captured by pygmies, and they were doing very, very bad things to him.
But he was, you know who else I like? I really like Tyson as well. He was just a pretty chill guy, pretty funny. But the interplay that he and Coach had, I was like, Coach actually came back and was a real listener and was able to bring people on board with how he approached the game and was able to relate to him going, I know what it's like to be made fun of or marginalized. And that really pulled people into him. I thought it was a really good play.
Yeah, Coach's first time, I don't saw his deficits, and I found them enduring. But there was a lot of people that didn't, and Coach just didn't recognize any of that. And then came back the second time. He was like, "Here comes lightning in a bottle. You liked Coach the first time. I'm gonna do the same thing but better." And I'm like, "No, you're not." And he didn't. And then he came back the third time, and as I said, it's like Mark 2.0. He just came back and listened, and I was just like, boom, like that. So as I said, it took 3 times for him to figure out what it took you. It appears minutes, and it was incredible.
Our mistakes, I felt like they were really obvious, and I feel like we got off to a much better start. And for me, I was going to index heavily on the social game because I knew that is a strong foundation, and from that you can build a strategy, you can have an alliance, you can get information. It's worth so much.
So going into these last couple days, and as I said, that the finale episode, I literally cried for 35 minutes. But holy moly, the love from home phone call. If anyone didn't love you prior to this, I mean, you have no heart and soul. I mean, like I'm watching, like I mean, as soon as Jonathan says, "How about love?" Like I start crying immediately before a word is said. like he doesn't even have the phone in his hand, and I'm crying. And Chrissy's moment was great. I mean, Chrissy's just so fun, And then it's time for you. And has Sam's mom started the journey of just giving motivational pep talks around the world yet?
She should now be a paid speaker for that, for the work she's done.
I mean, how describe that moment? I mean, because Chrissy's telling us, what we don't see is you can't even talk. And they're just like, just say it's hair, just say, and you can't, and having a 14-year-old and a 4-year-old, I empathize. I'm like, Jonny Fairplay, who can't shut up. This is probably Jonny Fairplay in this moment. I can't say a word. So like, how incredible was that?
It was pretty amazing. It was a reminder of what we'd left behind and why we were there, and we'd been away for so long. And I remember thinking, we've come so far and we've left him alone for all this time. He's been with Sam's mum, who actually, for her, that was, she never speaks like that. She's a very stoic kind of old school person. And for her to come out and say that it was huge for me. It was hugely helpful. And to hear Harry's voice when we're about to go into that, it kind of steals you a bit. You're like, all right, I remember why I'm here. I remember why I decided to go hard, and I've just got to get it done.
And still no chance of beating Shay.
And still 0 chance of being the ballerina.
But it's still amazing, like hearing that, because like I'm a viewer. Like I haven't been on the island. I hope to be there one day, but I can only view it from a viewer's perspective. And like for me, I'm like, oh, a letter, a phone call, like what's the big deal? I'll see them like when I get back. It's not that much long time, but like to see the impact that it has on you, and like it really like clicks for a lot of you. Like Chrissy mentions it so much during that finale about like, if I didn't have that phone call, things could have went very Differently, because it sort of brought me back into why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier on a blood versus water format versus a game of complete strangers. And for me, like I had never seen the show before I was cast. And then I went on eBay, I ordered every episode, and I watched every season twice. I watched every early show interview in which they explained why they felt they were voted out. But every season I'd get to the Loved Ones Challenge and I cry. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I have no soul, and, and I'm crying. I have to be able to use this. And that's when I came up with the dead grandma lie. But what people don't understand is, as I said, more so in a game of complete strangers, but it's still almost as impactful when you did at some point have your loved one out there. You're playing this game in which your best friend out there can be like, look, I will never lie to you. I will never fuck you over. I have your back. I will, like, this alliance is impenetrable. And at the same time they're looking at you, they see $500,000 written across your forehead and you see $500,000 written across theirs. And it's just like, I don't trust this motherfucker. And you can't.
Yeah, it's true. And it's deeply traumatic. That part of the game is deeply traumatic if you're not mentally prepared for it. And I think the first time I played, it's like getting betrayed by your best friend multiple times every day. It's very bad.
Yeah.
And
so
second time round, I was keen to like play a very straight game. If you're in my alliance, I almost never lied to you. I only lied about the idols. Everything else, I had your back. Anyone else outside that alliance, they were dead to me. I was going to try and get them no matter what. I'd lie to them. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
And so I was very upfront with my own alliance, and I was very loyal to them. And I think they saw that in me. It kind of disarmed them. And I also feel, just on that call, that I had been given a bit of a one-dimensional edit to that point. I was quite ruthless, quite vicious. But what you saw there is the real me. I was turned that way because I was a soldier, but really the real me is, I'm a soft person.
Yeah, well, and we get a glimpse of that, when Sam's voted out. You're floored, and I'm just like, that's the guy. So, but harkening back to loved ones thing, hearing that you're hearing from someone that you can trust, and that means, like, in a game of betrayal and lies and all that, just to get that interaction with someone that you can believe in means so much. And that's what a lot of viewers are just like, you've only been out there 20 days. Why are you crying? It's just like, because I can't trust anyone. You don't understand. like I feel like I have the best alliance in the history of Survivor, and I still don't trust them, and they should not trust me. So to hear one person that I know, I think it's not going to lie to me. I need that.
Yeah. And that's what makes it such good viewing is just the dilemma, the moral dilemmas that go with that, and just how emotionally wrenching that is for everyone.
All right. So getting back to when you do decide to use the idols. So you had the opportunity to save Sam, and I'm sitting there thinking as a viewer and and a former player, I'm just like, isn't now the moment? Or is it, look, we're a package deal. If one of us wins, we both win. One person coming back with both idols is better. Is that what's going on in your head, or in thinking, revisiting it is like, maybe I should have played it then. We would have both been there, and then we still would have had one, and then we don't have the shift in power with the Purgatory Alliance.
No, it was the first one that you mentioned. So we knew, we're like, all right, with the last couple, it's changed now because we were going to go to the end with the other couple. All right, we don't have them. Yep. It's just us. We're going to get targeted. You can't let us two be kicking around. We're like, actually, this kind of works because one person goes to the jury. The jury's now getting quite big.
Yeah.
And
you got a hype man.
You got a hype man.
Powerful.
Exactly. hype person.
Yeah.
And I was
2022,
like,
Mark. Oh, you're the worst.
I've come so far. And,
P. Diddy is shaking in his grave right now, even though he's still alive. He's like, I was the best hype man ever. Hype person. No.
But like, do you think like that like move, like more so because like, you two got it, like you guys had that conversation, like going in like, hey, like one of us wins, we both win. It's not really a jockeying position of like, oh, I want to be Survivor, I want to be Survivor. If one of you wins it, the other is going to be supportive of it. Do you think like that sort of like opened you guys up a little bit, like for the game? Because I think there's a lot of these other groups, like maybe Sandra would have had the same thing for Nina, but it would have been that like I want to get as far as I can with my loved one. I want to be the one that wins. So like that would have been my mentality, because like I don't have that type of connection with someone that I would bring to the island with me. But having that for you two, like I feel like it almost like takes a little bit of a burden off your back, because you're sort of like, you don't have that pressure of like, I need to beat my loved one. It's like, we're both going to go as far as like as we can. If one of us can get to the end, we have a fighting chance.
Yeah, that's correct. It does take a burden off your back. You're right, because instead of worrying about self-preservation, you're actually working together for a common goal and figuring out the best way to do that. And Sam and I did do that the night before we both went to trouble without our idols, knowing that one of us could be sent home. And it was a smart move. It was definitely the way to go. I feel like I didn't play a better game of Survivor until I accepted that I was probably not going to get to the end. I was probably going to get knocked out, and therefore I should do more in the game. I should take some risks. I should play a game I'm proud of with Sam. And it was the same, funnily enough, it was the same thing as a soldier. I wasn't a good soldier until I was in my 30s, and I had come to terms with the fact that I could die on operations as a soldier. And I was all of a sudden, I was more reconciled with it. I wasn't happy about it, but I was more reconciled to it. And it made me a better soldier because I wasn't in this defensive mindset all the time of just trying to survive. And I feel like Survivor's the same thing. When I made that recognition that you're a dead man walking in this game, pretty much, I played a much better game.
Wow. All right. You get a unanimous vote on the win. Were you shocked? I mean, were you like, okay, one person has to be mad at me, right?
Yeah, I was shocked. And the reason I was is because, say, Dave and KJ, for example, they identified with having to fight off the bottom a couple of times. They spent, Dave especially, KJ, both of them, they spent a long time fighting off the bottom. And that was the pitch that, Shay gave. And Chrissy to some extent, but more Shay. So I thought there would be that link between those two and they would kind of reward that. But I think I had a good enough, I had a rounded enough game, and I could articulate it well enough that I was able to bring him across. And Sam also explained that game when she was in the jury.
Yeah, your opening speech, like it wasn't even fair. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Jonathan's like, "Hey, Mark, go first." Okay, are you guys ready for the best Survivor Final jury opener ever? Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna wing it. I mean, it's gonna be the best ever, and then they're gonna follow me.
And like I know there's always gonna be hyperbole of like, oh, this was the best, this was the top 5. Where like when I listened to that, I went in not not knowing what people were really going to say. And a lot of times I get underwhelmed with what people say in their final tribal councils, because I'm like, there's so much more that you could have said, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And like you just came in and you didn't go too long.
Day one Andy.
Yeah, you were like day one Andy, Sandra Boot, Merge, the decision to not use the idols. Now I'm here putting Josh as a threat. Like you had such a precision. Like no pun intended.
Military precision.
No pun intended there, but like you hit every single bullet point. I felt like you knew you needed to make for the specific people that you thought maybe you would need to work harder to get their votes for. And it was very impressive.
Yeah, I remember I had 7 points. I had to have a good opening, I had to have a good closing, and there were 5 strategic points I needed to hit. And I kind of made up my mind what they were going to be. I went through them chronologically. And I wasn't fat by then, so I'd taken all the fat out of everything I was doing. There was no fat in my talk. It was just like straight down to business. And I was conciliatory too, because I had been quite ruthless. So I actually addressed each person on the jury bench. I don't think that made the edit, but I basically talked to each of them and talked about how I liked playing with them and why they were a threat to me. And I think people appreciated that acknowledgement, because on a jury, you're just hoping that you've also played a good game and that people see that as well. And so I did do that. And I think the last twist I put in it, which was a really important one, is that I kind of pitched to be a representative for that season. And my pitch was, who do you want to be your representative really out of us 3? And that's how I wanted them to think about it, because I felt like I would be a good representative for that season.
Wow. I mean, it was perfect. Like, as I said, I'm crying during your speech, and I'm just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So why was there a possibility to get Harry out there for the reading of the votes, or no?
It was very tricky because there were some pockets of Australia that were in heavy lockdown, and Harry was in one of those states that was still in lockdown. Okay. So I know they had trouble getting people out, but they were able to get my parents happened to be in Queensland at that point. So yeah, but it would have been great to see him, but yeah, it was such a long season. I was glad to head home.
Yeah, the video of you guys getting home, I'm just like, oh my god, the fucking season's over and I'm still crying.
Even when I watched that, I'm like, oh, we left that poor boy for so long. It was very emotional getting back to him.
Yeah. Did you miss anything important? What
Uh,
were the big milestones that you missed?
I think he was expelled from school at least once or twice.
Oh, well, that's I'd be proud.
No, we didn't. We didn't miss. No, we didn't miss a birthday or anything. We were good.
Okay. So no birthday. He was already talking. He's already, So ask Dirty Harry. Kids start talking at the age of 6, I believe.
I think so.
That was the best. They're just like, because I had Dirty Harry on the podcast, and I was just like, did you do any kind of research before lying about having a kid? He's like, no. He's just like, they're like, what do you do for fun? He goes, and Harry for fun. He like, he plays Mario Kart. He goes. So he's like, what do you do? He goes, he loves just watching me play Mario Kart. And he's just like that. He's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we do together. He watches me play Mario Kart, and they're like, wow,
that was a very brazen lie, and you're basically asking to join another tribe that is very tight and very interested in what each other does. It's kind of like going up to a mad gang in South Central and going, yeah, I'm cool, I'm with you guys.
Yeah, right. So I'm just like, wow, I'm just dad of the year is like, what do you do with the kid? He watches me play Mario Kart. I have no idea at what age they talk or anything. So I mean, just some kind of recon would have been good on his lie. He's like, nah, I'm gonna wing it because other parents don't know. They don't remember.
I don't talk about this stuff.
So, oh my god! All right, so was there something on this season that they didn't show that you wish they would have?
They didn't show how close they didn't show how close Josh, Chrissy, and I were at the start, and they didn't really show how good a game Josh was playing, which I think would have made the end game much more interesting.
Yeah.
There were a lot of purple edits. I feel like they should have just smoothed that out a bit better, and it would have made for a more compelling game.
Yeah, because as viewers at home, like we're hearing people say, like, "Ooh, Josh can win this thing," and I'm just like, well, based on the edit, he can't.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I don't want to complain too much, but I feel like the edit could have covered a few more people a bit better.
Yep. So, and lastly, who can drink more beer, you, Croc, or Juicy Dave?
Jordan.
Oh,
Option D, Jordan.
Wow.
Oh, actually, you know what? I've taken Juicy Dave on before. I went to Brisbane, and we drank together, and we went pretty hard. And then the next day, I went to his house to visit him, and he was not well. It was not well.
All right, so you beat Juicy Dave. What about Croc?
I beat Juicy Dave. I haven't taken Croc on. I'll have to get to Queensland with Chrissy, and we'll take him on.
Whose chances you like better?
Well, I'm heavier than him now, so maybe I'll pull ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, can't hide money, Mark. I mean,
yeah, I guess I'll be paying for drinks, right?
So with that, Mark, thank you so much. You were an honor to watch. I'm beyond proud of the winner that Blood versus Water chose for yourselves and for us, the viewer. It's just incredible. I mean, you won me over, and rest assured, it took a lot.
It wasn't hard for me. I'll just say that I was a fan of yours. So when I watched 2017, it was the first Australian Survivor season I watched. All my friends were also big fans of yours and Sam, so they were very excited this season. And obviously, with how it ended up, they were very satisfied with the winner.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been such a crazy journey, and I've been really impressed with how closely you guys have paid attention to it. I always think we're just in this quiet corner of the world. No one is really seeing what we're doing, but I was really impressed that the icons of the game and broadcasters such as yourselves have seen it for what it is, and I think it was a really fun season, and I hope all the fans like it.
I have it top five of all time. What was the first thing you bought when you got your money? Oh yeah. ever. Top 5 ever. I mean, perfect winner, an amazing love story, incredible villain, which I prefer, a heroic good guy. I mean, that's it. I mean, like, I love my favorite ever is Pearl Islands, but you have the villain and you have the hero Rupert, even though we hated him out there. And it's one thing, real life's another. So and we established the legacy of the Queen. So, but no.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Top
There
5.
were a lot of archetypes in there, and then we had royalty there as well. We had some American royalty. So I guess it was. Yeah, I shouldn't be so hard on it. I think it was a really great season.
Yeah. So first thing you bought when you got the money.
You know what? It just landed yesterday, so I have not bought anything yet. But I'm going to go get a good coffee this morning.
That's it. Like, I mean, you're not looking at it like at a motorcycle or.
No. I'll probably kill myself if I get a motorcycle. I think
Smart.
we're actually looking at moving north into Queensland because it's a beautiful lifestyle up there. So we're coming up with some options there, and it's can be expensive, so we will need a little bit of extra to get by.
Okay. And go ahead.
And then I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini.
There you go.
Smart, there you go.
There it is.
There you go. And last thing, U.S. versus Australia.
Oh,
There's rumors. You never know.
Innuendo.
I asked Sam, and Sam said she had unfinished business. You've won. You're done. You don't get to come back. It's Sam has to finish her story. do you have an asterisk saying, well, I mean, maybe defend the title?
I keep saying I'm retired, but I'm like doing like a Floyd Mayweather retirement. I think if the call came, I'd like salute and go straight back into the fray. But I would want to, and I'd be cannon fodder probably, to be fair. But I think I'd really love to see Sam go back. I think she's got so much more to offer, especially without me around to kind of hassle her during her game. So I'd be excited to see that.
All right, there is. So we got it. I feel like that's a strong maybe.
I heard a yes.
Next
You heard
time,
yes.
hey, Johnny, maybe next time we'll be shaking hands on the beach somewhere.
I would love to. I've already casted this thing. Like we
I don't know. Johnny might need a little step ladder before I shake hands with you guys.
Well, no. We've cast this thing. It was tough. I was trying to figure out my doppelganger, and I thought it was Dirty Harry, and he was like, "I'm 6'2", 220." I'm like, "Ooh, that's not me." So King George is my Australian equivalent.
Oh, yeah, he's a worthy adversary. You guys would be a great pairing.
Yes. So, but casting it, I have Nina on the Australian tribe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've stolen her from the US.
Yeah.
Like she is a weapon. She would be a great import for us.
And I feel like she'd be the most dangerous person out there.
I also spent 4 years in the US. I did business school with you guys. I spent 2 years in New York working. So I feel like I'd be able to talk your language. I feel like I might be a good pairing as well.
Oh, Mark.
We're hearing it.
Mark, you did so good at decreasing your threat level, and all you did this podcast is just like, oh, I've already won.
Johnny.
Yeah, I've been to the States.
Johnny, it's gonna be like Winners at War. They're gonna pull this clip up when they see you guys both on the island.
Oh, I can't wait for them to pull this. This is the Poker Alliance exposed right here.
Yeah.
That's true.
NSFW.
Yeah, the Poker Alliance. Oh wow.
Awesome. Mark, thank you so much for your time. Give my best to the family. I love you all. You guys are potentially coming to the U.S. at some point this year?
I think we might. Yeah, I think second half of the year we might try and sneak your way. So we'll have to come and discuss this further over a few Jägermeisters or whatever you drink over there.
Or some sour fair place, you know.
Oh yeah, I have a new beer just dropped last week.
Wow.
Johnny Sour Place.
Johnny Sour Play. It's a lemon sour. And then May 18th, I'll be at Bolero Snort Brewery in New Jersey. Tickets go on sale next week. Go to bolerosnort.com for that. And it will be the debut of Juicy Fairplay IPA with an homage to Juicy Dave.
I told Juicy Dave, I'm like, you need to release Jipper Juicy IPA. You need to get it out right now. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah. What's he been waiting on?
He's going to be pumped about that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Juicy Fairplay IPA will drop on May 18th at Bolero Snort Brewery. Look for tickets at bolerosnort.com. But join me in Nashville and Durham SurvivorTix.com. And Mark, thank you. You're incredible. And you did this podcast with military precision.
Again, and with Dirty Harry, I'm nipping my ankles. It's been an honor. I can't wait to see you guys for real in the US. I'm super pumped about it, and thank you so much for the coverage. You guys have been fantastic.
Thank you so much. And until next time, we'll see you guys tonight. We're talking season 42 Survivor and the stupid hourglass twist. Bye. And for more reality NSFW content, visit adfreeNSFW.com.